up to speed with some of the trends that are going on globally, and then talk to you about why this is important for PNG and where I see the opportunities for PNG. Because I believe, as the Minister has said, that we're on the cusp of exponential change here in PNG. You have opportunities here that you've never had before because of the opportunity of technology and because of the opportunity of mobile connectivity for most of the people in the country. But you're not just sitting here, ask nothing, long place. You're in the middle of a world where everything's changing around you. So the things that are changing at the moment is this whole convergence of technologies, the exponential growth of technologies, the accelerating returns from technologies, and the cost of technology is going down, so it becomes more accessible. But there's also a few facts that I want to share with you that are going to make you rethink what you're doing, how you're educating your children, and how you're thinking about the future. So the first one is 65% of children today will hold jobs that don't yet exist. 40% of degrees will be obsolete. And in fact, another fact from the US Bureau of Statistics, 60% of the jobs of the future will not require a university degree. Education is changing. AI can read X-rays more accurately than dermatologists. In 2030, the largest internet company will be an education company with avatar instructors. Software developers today are more valuable to companies than money. We have a huge talent shortage in the digital economy. And everything is changing. Let's think about some of that. So behaviour is changing. We lead more public lives. Even here in PNG, people are on Facebook, people are on Twitter, people are posting photographs of themselves and their lives and building community online. So the way we collaborate, the way we share, the way we access information is changing. Technologies are growing so fast. We were all shocked by ChatGPT. That was released last October, I think. And then millions and millions of people around the world are understanding how it can help them do their jobs better, and indeed how it's going to change the shape of the workforce. Young people are the future. The millennials, the Gen X and the Gen Z, I'm going to introduce you to the Gen Z in a minute, are going to be the customers, consumers, and the people of the future. They're the people that we need to build this economy for. When you have internet, it doesn't matter where you are, and this is a big opportunity for PNG, because you know, it used to be you lived in a little hamlet somewhere on a mountain, and you had a language group maybe of 500 people, maybe 5,000 people, and that's where you were. That's not the same anymore. If you have connectivity, you are connected to the world. And boundaries don't exist in the same way as they used to exist. So PNG can be global. The future of work is going to be what drives education. So the jobs of the future, and this is the US Bureau of Statistics, Labour and Statistics, anything to do with computers, computer software, data scientists, statisticians, web developers, these people are going to have jobs. The other three industries, interestingly enough, where there's going to be growth is healthcare, entertainment, everything, and when I say entertainment, it's in the broadest sense. So that's sports, that's massage, that's concerts, that's theatre, that's everything that people do to give themselves entertainment during their leisure time. And then technicians, because we're making all of this cool stuff. We're making solar panels and we're making drones and we're making goodness knows what else. Someone's got to fix them. So there's always going to be a job for technicians to fix them. But as I said, 60% of these jobs won't require university degrees. So these are some of the jobs of the future. This is what we need to be preparing our young people in PNG for. So a lot of jobs are going to be automated. We know that. So what people are going to need is the things that you can't do with machines. So soft skills, the technological skills, things about empathy, caring, people, culture. Machines don't do that. If you've got half your workforce working from home, someone needs to manage them. Maybe people are going to be spending a long time in extended reality metaverse, and that might lead to some mental health problems. We'll need people to deal with that. Algorithm bias auditor, because AI is trained on data sets and we need to have a look at the algorithms to make sure they're making the right decisions. Avatar coordinators, so if you start developing metaverses and we're interacting with avatars, someone needs to manage them. Metaverse strategist, everyone's going to need one of those. Drone fleet coordinator for last mile deliveries. So these are the jobs that haven't been invented yet that our children are going to be doing. And work is going to change, and this is really important to get your head around. We're moving from a jobs-based economy to a skills-based economy. So that means you can't expect to go to school or go to university and have a job for life. People are going to have skills, and they're going to have to be re-skilled, because as technology changes, the skills required to develop and sustain that technology will also change. And that is not going to be a 4-year university degree. That is going to be a short, focused training to specifically give skills to people to do a job related possibly to the digital economy. So people are going to be more like freelancers than they are going to be in full-time employment. But this has implications on your children, of course, because it means they have to be agile, they have to be resilient, they have to not sit on their laurels and be prepared to be re-skilled. So we're going to see the rise of continuous learning. We're going to see increasing international competition for learning, but that's great for P&G, because what it's going to mean is that your young people can be educated from anywhere in the world, from the best in the world. And what data and AI is going to mean is that they can have curated, personalised learning for whatever it is that they're trying to learn. And education will have no walls. They're going to be able to go in 24 hours a day and obtain skills and learn from anywhere in the world, as people will be able to come here. And it'll all be gamified. I'm going to talk about gaming in a minute, because I think most people think gaming is an annoying thing that their kids play that they shouldn't be playing. So I'm going to have a few words about that in just a moment. But with digitalisation, if we're talking about sustainability and the SDG targets, 70% of them can be accelerated through digital technology. So this is something that's really important for the future of the country. But not only that, and it was great to hear about what the government's doing, but this is your economic future. Digital can be a sector of the economy. So it creates jobs. 10-point increase in digitalisation leads to a 1.2% drop in unemployment. The greatest employment effect is where? In emerging economies. This is a prospect for P&G. It increases growth. And so it enables entrepreneurial businesses to overcome some obstacles they've experienced in the past. So this is really something to think about. There's a few other trends that you need to think about, and you may be aware of them. The first one is everything's being digitalised, datafication. Data is going to be the most valuable commodity in the world, and you will be able to own and monetize your data. And thinking about how to be data-driven is going to be essential for the future. The younger people in particular are less interested in owning things as we were. They're quite happy to receive a service or to have access to it, to get into an Uber, to go and stay in an Airbnb. They don't have to own it, they just have to be able to have access to it. So people are thinking differently about owning products, and anyone who produces products has to remember that and think about what their customers want. And thank you, Minister, for talking about platforms, because platformisation is the way everything's going for the future. And anyone who's got a business should be thinking about how that business can either become a platform or collaborate with a platform, and how your customers are now your network on the platform, and how you keep them happy, and how you offer them other things. And I've been talking at Kina Bank, and I'm saying a bank is not a bank anymore, because fintechs are in financial services. Apple, Google, Facebook, Meta, they're all in financial services as well. They're offering products that used to be offered by banks, and banks therefore have to offer other services to their network and their customers to keep them there. And the other thing which is really important is this concept of sustainability, because young people care about the planet. They care about people, and they're going to demand that enterprises do the same. So data is the new gold, and you're going to own your own data. Welcome to Gen Alpha. This is the future. These are your kids and your grandkids. They are the most technologically advanced generation ever. They have grown up with a screen in front of their faces. They're used to communicating through technology. And this is going to impact on the way they interact, on the way they expect to receive services. And companies have to explore the best way to be able to provide products and services to Gen Alpha, because they're the consumers of the future. But the future is now. It's not next year, next week, we're going to have a digital strategy in a decade's time. All of these technologies are with us now, and they're all being used at various levels, happily here, but not enough, and all around the world, and you can learn from how people are using. So, I'm not going to read this whole list, but these are the technologies that you can deploy now to help you build a digital economy for PNG. So AI, machine learning and big data, you're going to be using this in all of your companies and all of your industries. Blockchain, and if you think about for climate action, smart grid energy management, peer-to-peer energy markets, renewable energy certificates, micro-leasing marketplaces for solar and so forth. There's so many applications that you can deploy this technology for. Digital twins. Who knows what a digital twin is? Super cool. Go away and read about it, please, because this is a digital representation of a real thing. So, for example, I'll give you two examples. One is, if you think about medicine, do you know what's happening now for complicated surgery? Maybe there's a tumour that's in a difficult-to-reach place. Doctors are scanning your body using a scanner, creating a 3D twin of your tumour, exactly where it is, what organs it's near, and planning the operation precisely so that when they go inside your body, they already know how they're going to get at that tumour. Motorcar companies are using digital twins to design cars, to bring consumers in to test drive cars. Come into the metaverse showroom, you can get into the car, and now with haptics and other technology, you can feel the roar of the car's engine. You can take it for a test drive, as if you're driving a car in a game, but you're driving the latest BMW. People using digital twins for manufacturing processes and so many other ways. Other technologies like satellite, mobile, we've spoken about. Internet of Things. Anyone got an Apple Watch on? No? Anyone got a Fitbit on? My goodness. Okay, we've got an NCD strategy. One guy's got one. But so people are, but your mobile phone, it tells you how many steps you're doing, right? Yeah, everyone's got a mobile phone, so you know your steps. But people are wearing things that have got sensors, which again is going to give more and more and more data about what you're doing and what your habits are, and then how they're going to be able to connect with you more directly. Robotics, smart infrastructure, spatial mapping, these are all things. I was just talking to someone before the conference about customary land and how you could possibly allow people to get some liquidity out of the fact that they own land, how you map the land, drones and GIS technology, and so many ways that you can actually start to address this problem, because PNG doesn't have a problem of poverty, it has a problem of being unable to access the wealth that it holds in many cases, especially people in the villages. So this is probably not the best statistic, but we need to look at it because that's how you get better. So PNG is sitting 166 out of 190 for digital development. So there's loads of room for improvement, and I'm very happy to hear about the Minister's improvements. But then if you look at it, 70% pretty much have access to the internet or to mobile technology. That means you can reach 70% of the country. So you've got over 3 million internet users with an internet penetration of about 32%, 872,000 social media users, that's about 8.5% of the population, nearly 4 million mobile connections which is about 36% of the population. So you've got a good start. And mobile is the key. Mobile is growing, and more and more and more people have access to mobile technology. And mobile creates opportunity. And you only have to look at some other emerging economies to see that. Mobile technologies generated $4.5 trillion of economic value and added 5% to global GDP in 2021. Now, social media, I think everyone knows the enthusiastic embracing of social media that's taken place in PNG. This is how people are now communicating. And this is important also for companies to have social media strategies and to be communicating with their networks using social media. So you've got Facebook, Instagram is growing, LinkedIn, Twitter. You don't seem to have so much TikTok, but elsewhere around the world, young people are getting their information from TikTok, so I expect you're going to see it. But the opportunity is here in places like PNG. Because you've got the smartphone users, because you've got young people, you have to create economic opportunity for the young people. And because you've got challenges, you've got unbanked, you've got people without identity, you've got people without connection to the economy. So you're going to be highly motivated, as the Minister is, to do something about it. So there's tremendous opportunity for emerging economies, and it's estimated they can grow twice as fast as the traditional economies. So 6 out of the 7 largest economies in the world by 2050 are projected to be emerging economies. So China, India, Indonesia is next door. One of the fastest growing digital economies in the world is just over the border. And that's where we should be looking. So thinking about invest in digital infrastructure, expand internet access, promote digital literacy programs. If you can weave a bilum, you can learn to code. Think about that. The basic skills that PNG have in village life are skills that can be converted into a digital economy and create those policies that foster digital innovation and growth. So these are the top 10 digital economies: China, India, Indonesia, Russia, Mexico, Turkey, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Thailand. Some of them are on your doorstep. The top technologies globally that are of importance are agricultural technologies, education and workforce technologies, financial services, healthcare, energy, artificial intelligence, climate change mitigation, e-commerce and digital trade, and environmental management technologies. So these are the technologies PNG should be thinking about as it's relevant to your economy. And where is your market? Next door. The next billion Asian consumers are sitting on your doorstep. Indonesia, young, tech-savvy, incredibly rapid growth in terms of e-commerce and technology with unicorn startups. We need to learn from them. Vietnam also. They are setting targets for the digital economy to make up 30% of the gross domestic product of Hanoi. We can do that here too. Let's set targets for the digital economy and say we're going to grow it from whatever percent it is now to 6%, 10%, 15%. Food is going to be one of the major shortages that we have in the world, and we have our billion Asian consumers next door. So thinking about what can we do in agri-tech using technology and thinking about how to feed this massive population that's sitting right next door. And we have endless supply of sun and water that's going to enable us to do that. And there's all sorts of things in game-changing agri-tech. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but go look it up. I spend a lot of time in the Middle East now, in the desert, where there's no water and there's no nothing. They're growing flourishing greenhouses, and they're using nano clay to make fruit farms. So we need to look at what are these technologies that could be deployed here to help PNG be a major food producer, for example. Metaverse. Maybe it's a little early for the metaverse here yet, but it's not that early, because anyone who's got an internet connection and a mobile phone or a tablet is soon going to be able to access metaverse experiences, but particularly, and this is for PNG, is education. Because your education system is failing your young people, and everyone in the room, we know that. What are the alternatives that they have? And it's great to see some education tech companies coming and submitting in the awards as well, because this is where the kids are going to be able to go. They're going to be able to go on the internet, and they're going to be able to seek the kind of education that they need. Now, I told you I was going to talk about gaming, but do you know why I'm going to talk to you about gaming? Because this is a massive economic opportunity that you possibly haven't thought about. Do you know how many gamers there are in the world? 3 billion. 3 billion gamers in the world. 79% of people under 22 play mobile games. So if you've got a mobile, you can play a game. Esports is set to grow, massive growth in esports. Papua New Guineans love sports. Don't tell me there's not an opportunity to build esports here. And play-to-earn games. Who's heard of play-to-earn games? Okay, this is a takeout. Go and find out about this. You can earn money just by playing games. And we saw this during the pandemic in the Philippines, where people were shut down from the cash economy. They had no money to feed their families. They discovered a game called Axie Infinity that they played, and they were able to take the money out of that game and feed their families. So there's potential to earn money through gaming. And so I don't even need this section on the government, thank you, Minister, because you've made all of your announcements which take care of this slide, and thank you for that, because the government has seen, and most important, the development of an ecosystem, and I'm so happy to also hear about the development of a platform. So we need to bring the entire ecosystem together, not just the government, the private sector. We need to mobilise finance. We need to develop the right investment instruments to help the SMEs get up and running. We also need to build the infrastructure. Internet access is going to become a basic human right, and we need to allow that for PNG. And we need to have a clear plan, because again, if you look at those economies that have transformed through digitalisation, they've had a 10-year plan, and it includes all of those things. Get the infrastructure in place, get people with digital skills, train up the talent, and finance the ecosystem for startups so that you're building your own new economy. Sorry, the last one, I'll put that on for you, Minister, just because I think the tax credit scheme could be changed to be a mechanism to incentivise investment in the digital economy. So I'll just leave that with you as a thought. So what are the opportunities here for PNG? So maybe it sounds a bit theoretical, but it's not. What are some of the things you have problems with that can be helped with digital? Foreign exchange, fintech, remittances, financial inclusion, supply chains, collateralised customary lands to raise productive capital. Digital identity remains, despite the NID system and so many other things, we still don't have enough of the population with an identity, which also then limits their ability to be able to have bank accounts. Digitisation of assets. Everything green. PNG is sort of like, should be the poster child for the green economy. You have carbon credits, you have water, you have solar, you have fabulous forests. There's money in that. So build that part of the digital economy, build the green economy, and gaming and esports and digital commerce and trade. All of this stuff is within your reach. Just a word about Kina Bank, because I think it is, obviously it's something that I'm close to, but Kina Bank, by going digital, has been able to grow its revenue from 4 million in 2019 to over 60 million in 2023, which is an average annual growth rate of 100%. This is the kind of growth that you can get if you think about and go purposefully into digital. And it's also made Kina Bank closer to the customer, because the customers don't have to come into you anymore. You're taking through technology your products and services to the customers. So a digital bank, a digital service, a digital commerce, digital education, you're going where the customers are, because all they need is a mobile phone or an internet terminal. Kina's the only bank in the Pacific with WhatsApp banking, digital kiosks instead of branches. This is the era not of bricks and mortar. We don't need bricks and mortar if we can bring education and services to people using digital technologies. So these are the questions that I think all of us need to be asking together. How does PNG create more high-impact tech jobs? Because how are the young people of today going to be employed? There aren't jobs. We all know that. So we have to create entrepreneurs. We have to make the young people in PNG and give them an environment so that they can be entrepreneurs, so that they can have startups, so that they can have small businesses. There's a lot of people here who are going to be buying things. We need to enable them to be able to service all of the demand that there is. How do we create and keep tech scale-ups in the local economy? And this is a problem for Australia too. Start up a great tech company and then they go to US or they go somewhere else because there's better capital and better markets. So how do you keep them here? How do you attract the best startups and scale-ups? You can't just do it here in PNG. We're going to have to find, whether we're going to Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Africa, really cool products that people have already got implemented and collaborate and partner with them and bring it to PNG for execution. And how can we partner with the legacy industries, oil, gas, tourism, fintech, commerce, to develop new technologies at scale? And for those big companies, you have something tremendous to offer PNG. And it's not just capital, and I'm sure that everyone will try and get your capital, but it's the opportunities to be able to incubate and accelerate these technology companies within your industry. So instead of just, and there's nothing wrong with funding people to be trained at Don Bosco like ExxonMobil did, but think about how you're developing the skills in the new digital economy for oil and gas, mining, tourism, agriculture and so forth. So how industries partner with government and partner with the startup community to accelerate innovation and build a digital economy. This is entirely within your reach. This is entirely within your reach. All we need here is sustained vision and purpose and execution. I spend a lot of time now in Dubai. 50 years ago, that was a desert. And it's not just money, it's that sustained vision, purpose and execution. And that's what we need here. But there's nothing stopping us except us. So I leave you with those thoughts and I invite you to have a tremendous day today. And I hope I've opened your minds a little bit about how different the future is and how much opportunity there is for PNG in that future. Thank you very much.